This news update is brought to you by...
Got kids? Then you need video on demand from Flow, with hours of entertaining shows and movies for boys and girls of all ages. There's always something to watch. Simply press the VOD button on your Flow remote. This is how we do TV. This is how we Flow.
This is the Barbados Today Evening News Update for Monday, January 11. Thank you for joining us. I am Marie-Claire Williams. We begin with news that the Barbados Workers Union says it is concerned about reports that residents of areas affected by water shortages are blaming workers of the Barbados Water Authority for their plight. Following a meeting between the BWU and staff of the BWA this afternoon, the union's General Secretary Tony Moore said in some cases workers are also being threatened by the residents.
Some workers of the authority have been receiving threats from the public for not delivering water in their areas. I say regrettable because for members of the public to attribute some blame to workers who themselves are being impacted for not providing water is really unfortunate. And I say that because some of the workers who are being attacked are in fact living in the areas where there are water shortages.
Earlier today, officials of the opposition Barbados Labour Party and residents of St. Peter and St. Joseph delivered a letter to the BWA outlining the challenges the affected communities face. The letter was addressed to the Minister of Water Resources, Dr. David Estwick. BLP leader Mia Motley said she hopes Estwick will respond to the residents' concerns.
I therefore hope and pray that the Minister will take this letter in the spirit in which it has been written. I have been deliberate in my comments that this is not a partisan issue. I refused to address this issue last night in the Minister's constituency in a branch meeting because I'm not dealing with it in a partisan way. I genuinely want the residents to have their story told. We have heard it. The government has a duty to care enough to hear it. And I trust that the government, as represented by the Minister and the Chairman and the General Manager of the Water Authority, I hope that they do. I thank Dr. Mwanza for coming down and receiving the letter from the two ladies, but the truth is I want him to hear them. I really want him to hear them.
And the residents have also launched a further appeal for help with the situation.
This water problem been going on almost a year, since last year May, when my next door neighbor house was burned down. We take out all our hose to hook up, no water in the pipe. It was awful. Now, it went on over from May till now. No water, sending water bills, and you got to pay a water bill. It's outrageous. I ain't want no help. I want my water back in my tap so I can flush my water toilet and I don't have to lift buckets to flush it. I gotta flush it like 2, 3, 4 times. No. I gotta buy cleaning products over more than you're accustomed buying. I gotta be cleaning constantly because you know how it comes with salmonella. Don't wash your hands properly. All that comes to place. I had it, my children had it, and I threw with it.
This thing have to be fixed because at the end of the day, we are suffering. People think that this is about partisan. It's not for us, the residents of St. Joseph. This has been going on too long. And as I speak, I just have 2 single buckets of water home. This is drinking water. And the tank haven't been filled since last week.
In other news, the Barbados Light and Power Company says a burnt conductor on a pole at Dainsbury Blackrock caused the power outage from Blackrock to Sunset Crest, St. James last evening. A statement from the electricity company says service crews responded to customer calls shortly after 7 o'clock that an explosion was heard in the West Terrace area. Customers from Walmer Lodge, Blackrock to Sunset Crest and University Hill through to Wanstead and a section of West Terrace were affected. Service was restored by 10:30. Attorney General Adriel Brathwaite is praising the National Council for Substance Abuse for its work in raising the awareness of the dangers of illegal drugs. Brathwaite says the NCSA has impacted thousands of lives during its 2 decades of existence.
It's an organization that you don't build buildings, so people don't see what you're building. You don't see cars, so you don't sell cars, so people don't see the number of cars that you've sold. It is difficult for us to capitalize the number of lives, however, that you've touched. But given the significant challenges that we have had as a country, in particular the challenges that our young people are faced with, I say boldly that the work of the NCSA is outstanding. It continues to be relevant. We are now in our 21st year, and God give us guidance in that regard. Every year we touch approximately 25,000 lives in this country. And we do it with scarce resources. If memory serves me correctly, our budget is about $1.5 million. And when one looks at the fact that there are 280,000 people in Barbados, if you do the math, we don't exactly have a lot of money to do the things that we would like to do.
Brathwaite was delivering an address to mark the observance of Drug Awareness Month at the Church of the Nazarene in Bank Hall on Sunday. The American University of Barbados School of Medicine is giving assurances that it has not abandoned plans to establish a free clinic here. Associate Dean Dr. Sam Suhail told Barbados Today discussions are still ongoing and work should begin a year from now on the facility, which will be located at the institution's Silver Sands Christchurch campus. Dr. Suhail says the university is awaiting formal documentation from the Ministry of Health.
The clinic is planned to be a free clinic for the patients of the community and providing services to Barbados in general. The second thing is helping advance initiatives for medical education. So in this respect, the clinic will be a key milestone, as I mentioned in my speech, in the orientation speech, for students who need exposure early on in their career to begin to see patients and to become better doctors in the future. The progressive stages of the clinic, withstanding that it has been a couple of years that we mentioned that we're going to go ahead and implement the clinic, is to make sure that the clinic is made out in a way to offer the best possible services for both the patients in Barbados, for the community of Barbados, public of Barbados, and for also student educational development.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
In news from the region, the leader of Trinidad's minority opposition Congress of the People, Prakash Ramadar, is calling on the government to clear his name and the reputation of former ministers of the People's Partnership government of corruption allegations. The call comes 4 months after the coalition government was voted out of office. Ramadar is the former legal affairs minister, and he says his party is willing to work with anyone in the country's best interest.
The distance between the COP and the United National Congress has been established since the September defeat at the polls. Prakash Ramadar, the lone COP member of parliament, didn't take his oath with the opposition leader and other UNC members. The political leader of the Congress of the People is putting a line between himself and anyone in the PP government who's perceived to have been involved in any crooked activity while in power.
We must draw the line. The honeymoon is now over. And this government must take responsibility, because we, all of us, paid a price on election day for all of the things that you said were wrong about the past government. If there was corruption, I asked for all the institutions of state to investigate if there was corruption and prosecute those who might have been involved. But for those of us who participate in government for the improvement of the lives of every citizen, we want our names to be cleared equally.
Mr. Ramadar says it's time for the government to get down to some serious work.
The government had said we shall do this together. We believe in working together in difficult times. We know times are not the best. And the blame game of putting things on the last administration has got to come to an end.
Internationally, an aid convoy has begun distributing food to at least 40,000 people in the besieged Syrian town of Madaya. Residents are trapped there by a government blockage and have received no food since October. We get more in this BBC report.
Finally, help is on its way to the besieged town of Madaya, where more than 20 people are reported to have starved to death. This UN and Red Cross convoy carrying the first food supplies to the town since last October. And if it can deliver its load, it'll be enough to feed the people there for a month. Madaya, which lies in the hills near the border with Lebanon, is home to 40,000 people. And this morning, a crowd gathered at one of the checkpoints waiting for the desperately needed food supplies to arrive. This apparently is the impact the siege has had, the most vulnerable left emaciated. The unconfirmed videos were provided by activists inside the town. On the streets of Madaya, families scramble for whatever they can get to stay alive.
That's the news. There's more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also, tune into Channel 101 on Flow TV or Mix 96.9 FM for more news. I'm Marie Claire Williams. Good evening.